Hi, and welcome back again. Attorney Steve Vondran here. We are talking, well, I guess you could call it sports law, but everybody's talking about Antonio Brown now, football player, and he just got traded, and he's real excited. It looks like virtually on the heels of him being traded, this lawsuit was dropped here on 9/10/19, and you see the case number up here, if this thing would stop coming down here. But this is filed in the United States District Court, Southern District of Florida. There's a case number up there. Britney Taylor, plaintiff, versus Antonio Brown, defendant. Civil complaint, demand for jury trial. All right, let's see what's going on here. Plaintiff Britney Taylor, by and through her attorneys, blah, 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 alleges as follows. Introduction. This case is about how Antonio Brown, a highly successful wide receiver in the National Football League, exploited, sexually assaulted, and raped his former trainer, Britney Taylor. So, again, I always have to caution people. These are just allegations. This is not evidence. Does not mean he's guilty of anything. Everybody is innocent unless and until someone is proven otherwise. So let's just get that straight. Brown preyed on Miss Taylor's kindness and her religious devotion, casting himself as a person equally dedicated to his religious faith and someone she could trust. In reality, he used manipulation and false promises to lure her into his world. And once there, he sexually assaulted and raped her. These heinous acts have inflicted severe and dramatic damage on Miss Taylor, irreparably harming her. In 2017, Brown sexually assaulted Miss Taylor twice. So always my first question is, well, that's a long time ago. Brown sexually assaulted Miss Taylor twice while they were together for training sessions. First, Brown exposed himself and kissed Miss Taylor without her consent. Later that month, Brown, while positioned behind Miss Taylor, began masturbating near her without her knowledge and ejaculated on her back. Miss Taylor realized what had occurred when she felt a wet spot soak through her clothing. Later, in astonishingly profane and angry text messages, Brown bragged about the incident to her. Shocked and deeply embarrassed by this assault and this degrading messages, Miss Taylor cut off her working relationship with Brown. However, several months later, Brown reached out to Miss Taylor expressing contrition, begging forgiveness, and pleading with her to train with him again. Miss Taylor was hesitant, but eventually agreed, swayed by his assurance that he would cease any sexual advances. Brown's assurances proved false. On May 20th, 2018, Brown cornered Miss Taylor, forced her down onto a bed, pushed her face into the mattress, and forcibly raped her. Miss Taylor tried to resist him, but Brown was too strong and physically overpowered her. She screamed and cried throughout the entire rape, repeatedly shouting, "No!" and "Stop!" Brown refused and penetrated her. Brown's assaults and rape have severely traumatized Miss Taylor. Miss Taylor has suffered nearly daily panic attacks and suicidal ideations. Miss Taylor brings this action to recover compensatory and punitive damages for the significant harm Brown caused by this brutal and sadistic conduct. So there's the allegations, there's the parties, there's the jurisdiction, federal court jurisdiction, diversity jurisdiction, parties of different states, and the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000. That's how you get, one of the two ways you get into federal court. The other is a federal question. Venue, jury demand. I'm not going to repeat the facts. You can see she was a world-class gymnast. Miss Taylor started gymnastics when she was only 3 years old and soon became recognized as an athlete with exceptional abilities, discipline, and dedication. In high school, she trained twice a day for a total of 40 hours a week. In addition to her coursework, she reached elite level, meaning she was eligible to compete for international competitions like the Olympics. She received 14 full scholarship offers. This year, she will be in the Tennessee Gymnastics Hall of Fame. So it goes back here into a little more history. So she was a gymnast. In 2010, Miss Taylor started her freshman year at Central Michigan. Miss Taylor joined the College Fellowship of Christian Athletes group. During her first meeting, she was paired with Antonio Brown as his Bible study partner. Brown was well known on campus and the football team's star wide receiver. A year later, Brown went to play in the NFL, becoming one of the most successful wide receivers in the league. Miss Taylor transferred to LSU, but they remained in touch. In approximately 2013, Miss Taylor's senior year at LSU, Brown sent her a message on social media asking for a picture of her. Miss Taylor sent him a picture of her face. Dissatisfied, Brown asked for a more revealing one. Miss Taylor refused, reminding Brown that they were just friends. Okay, for approximately 4 years, Miss Taylor graduated from LSU. The two fell out of touch. During that time, Miss Taylor pursued her lifelong dream of opening a gymnastics training center for predominantly African American girls in her hometown of Memphis. She wanted to create a safe and supportive environment for young girls of color to thrive in the sport of gymnastics, something that was often missing for her when she was a young girl. She opened her business in 2016 and quickly grew because of her knowledge of gymnastics and her devotion to students. She even covered the cost of tuition for several students whose families were unable to afford it. After less than a year, she was training approximately 50 students and had another 200 students on her waiting list. Brown reconnects. In June 2017, Brown reached out to Miss Taylor via Facebook asking her how she was doing. Miss Taylor responded she was doing well and enthusiastically described the development of and plans for her gym. During the course of this renewed contact, Brown indicated he wanted Miss Taylor's help improving flexibility and strength in his ankles and fast twitch muscles, areas in which she had developed expertise through gymnastics. As a result, the two agreed that Taylor would provide physical training services to Brown. The arrangement between them included Miss Taylor flying to locations in Pittsburgh and Florida, where Brown had homes and where he trained. Miss Taylor never dated or had any interest in romantic relationship with Brown. Their relationship, as far as Miss Taylor believed and behaved, was that of a brother-sister type. Brown engages in inappropriate behavior and sexualized misconduct. During a training camp in early June 2017, Miss Taylor was in one of Brown's homes in the Pittsburgh area where she was staying because she had not booked her a hotel room. She was getting dressed in an upstairs bedroom when Brown walked in with his penis exposed. She immediately covered her eyes with her hands and walked out of the bathroom. Brown then grabbed and kissed her without her consent. Miss Taylor pushed him away and immediately left the room. Brown's actions made Miss Taylor extremely uncomfortable. She was in a long-term and serious relationship with another man and had no interest in sexual relationship with Brown. But because of her professional relationship with Brown was important and because she took it serious, Miss Taylor willed herself to brush off the episode, hoping that Brown would stop pursuing her. In late June 2017, however, during another training visit, Brown and Miss Taylor were watching a church service on Miss Taylor's iPad in Brown's home in Miami, Florida. As they had during their Christian Fellowship Day, they often read scriptures, prayed, or watched services together during training visits. On this occasion, Brown was behind Miss Taylor as they watched the service on her tablet. Unbeknownst to Miss Taylor, while she was focused on the religious video, Brown began masturbating behind her. Before she knew it or understood what was happening, Brown ejaculated on her. Specifically, Miss Taylor felt a wet spot on her back and then suddenly realized what had happened. Though thoroughly disgusted, Miss Taylor exclaimed, "Ew!" Brown, unfazed by her reaction, jokingly responded, "Oh, B, you know I'm sorry," and then left the room. Miss Taylor was dismayed, confused, and embarrassed. She called her mother. Okay, so you guys get what's going on here. Okay, that's probably not much more here. Here's some text messages if you want to pause and read the text messages. The one from looks like from, well, I'll let you read that. Wow, that's some heavy stuff there. So you can read that. I'm not going to read that. Pause the video and read that if you like. He further demeaned her, calling her a weak bitch and a dumb something asshole. Miss Taylor cut off all contact with Brown as a result. So that's what's going on here. Let's go down and see what you can pause if you see then it goes on to allege on approximately May 20th. Miss Taylor, Brown invited Miss Taylor, another football player who trained with him, a few friends for a night out in Miami. Went to a club. Lots of stuff you can see here. Down here, Brown is no stranger to controversy. Many incidents involving him have been widely reported in the press. He's been accused of throwing objects off a balcony in a rage, nearly striking a toddler. So anyway, you can read that. You get the allegations. There's kind of more. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Let's go down and see what she's suing for down here. She's traumatized, she alleges. And it's a long complaint. Suing for battery, rape, the unlawful touching of another without consent, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, false imprisonment. It's basically where you're stuck and you have no way to get out. So, invasion of privacy. And what is she seeking? An award of damages, punitive damages. And there you have it, folks. So we will see what happens here. This is obviously a complaint and allegation needs to be proven by a preponderance of the evidence. This is civil court. So we'll keep you posted on that, but that's some breaking news from the sports world. And I'll let you guys watch. I report, you guys figure out, keep you posted, okay? Attorney Steve, thank you all for watching. Have a great day. We'll have some more great videos coming, hopefully this weekend, but we got a lot of work to do, so stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe if you like our show. Thanks a lot.